there's something called like the Fermi paradox of like where are the aliens?
Yeah.
So where are the aliens? And I think if anyone would know about aliens on Earth, it would probably be me. Oh, yeah, where are the aliens? I think it was Carl Sagan that said like if there either are a lot of aliens or none, and they're equally terrifying. If there are a lot of aliens, well, I mean, the invasion ship slash bug infestation, just like
Starship Trooper style.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like an alien civilization might just view us as like a bug infestation.
Right.
It's like, hey, we left that planet, it was fine. Now it's got a bunch of bugs. Just go fumigate it. Like we'd fumigate a house. That's certainly possible.
On July 1st, 2025, the Atlas telescope in Chile spotted something that shouldn't exist. A blur of light moving at speeds never recorded before. 87 kilometers per second, relative to our sun. That's fast enough to cross the Earth-Moon distance in under 80 minutes. But speed wasn't the strangest part. I-ATLAS was discovered by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, ATLAS Station, at Rio Hurtado, Chile on July 2025. What caught astronomers off guard wasn't just its velocity, but its behavior. Astronomers have categorized this object as interstellar because of the hyperbolic shape of its orbital path. Most comets slow down, fragment or stabilize as they approach the inner solar system. 3I Atlas did the opposite. It began accelerating. Subtle but consistent thrust corrections became evident. Its coma, that glowing halo of gas and dust surrounding the nucleus, doubled in brightness within weeks. The James Webb Space Telescope has observed the interstellar visitor 3I Atlas for the first time, training its infrared vision and its near-infrared spectrograph instrument. On the comet on August 6, 2025, what Webb discovered sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The telescope detected something unprecedented. The highest ratio of carbon dioxide to water ever observed in a comet. This isn't just unusual, it's practically impossible under normal comet formation models. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. Spectral analysis revealed intense spikes in ultraviolet energy and CO2 outgassing at rates never seen before. The object was acting less like a drifting chunk of frozen rock and more like a guided missile with built-in thrusters.
If there were aliens.
I would hope so. That's why I'm asking you.
No, I'd be jumping on that. Be like,
you should watch that conversation with Lex. It's
sure.
Like, here's the thing. Do you think that they would want us to know? Or do you think they would just be observing and making sure we don't blow ourselves up? Would
I don't know, man. They're real civilization. They sure are subtle. I mean, if they wanted us to know, obviously they could just, for sure, show up and walk down Main Street,
right.
Like, hey, I'm an alien, check me out,
Right.
Here's my spaceship, and just land in the middle of Times Square. I'd be like, right, okay.
Or hover over downtown LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we believe you.
Yeah.
So whatever they are very subtle, these aliens.
As Webb, Hubble, and ground-based observatories continued tracking 3I Atlas, a terrifying pattern emerged. The interstellar visitor will pass just 30 million kilometers from Mars on Oct. 3. That's closer than it comes to Earth by a factor of 9. 3I Atlas will come closest to Mars on 3rd October 2025 at a distance of 19 AU, 28 million km. To put this in perspective, that's roughly 75 times closer to Mars than to Earth during its approach. But proximity isn't the strangest part. The trajectory itself defies explanation. Instead of following a random path through our solar system, as would be expected of an interstellar wanderer, 3I Atlas appears to align almost perfectly with the orbital plane of our planets. Even more disturbing, it passes close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter in a pattern that eerily resembles gravity assist maneuvers, a technique our own space agencies use for fuel-efficient trajectory changes. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb calculated the odds of this happening naturally. The probability of such a trajectory occurring randomly is incredibly low, roughly 1 in 20,000. That's not coincidence. That's precision. Avi Loeb advocates directing NASA's Juno probe to intercept 3I Atlas for study, noting the unusually precise trajectory that will take it close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. The timing, he argues, is too perfect to be random. Here's what's keeping astronomers awake at night. An orbit correction by 10-15 kilometers per second during the month of September 2025 could shrink the closest approach distance of 3I Atlas from Mars to zero. Just 10-15 kilometers of added velocity, a fraction of what's already being measured in those gas pulses, could shift its path into a direct collision with Mars. Think about that for a moment. We're talking about precision maneuvers that would make NASA engineers jealous. Natural comets don't behave this way. They don't make course corrections. They don't aim for specific targets. The James Webb Space Telescope's August observations revealed something that challenges everything we thought we knew about comets. Webb's near-infrared spectrograph found that 3I Atlas has the highest ratio of carbon dioxide to water ever observed in a comet, with the carbon dioxide flux being incredibly high. Near-infrared spectroscopy by the James Webb Space Telescope in August 2025 has shown that the coma of 3I Atlas is unusually rich in carbon dioxide gas, with small amounts of water ice, water vapor, carbon monoxide gas, and carbonyl sulfide gas. But it gets stranger. When two space-based telescopes, NASA's SphereX Observatory and James Webb Space Telescope, studied 3I Atlas, they found it's burping out a lot of carbon dioxide, making it a little bit like a deep space fizzy drink. Martin Cordner, an astrochemist tracking 3I Atlas, noted that water is normally the dominant thing in comets. This extreme carbon dioxide dominance has scientists scrambling for explanations. One theory suggests the comet's nucleus may contain lots of water ice, but a crust dominated by carbon dioxide has formed on its surface, preventing the water from escaping. But that doesn't explain the precise trajectory or the apparent course corrections. Europe's Very Large Telescope also detected hints of nickel in the coma, a metal typically associated with asteroids, as well as rocky planets like Earth and Mars. Nickel in a comet. Think about that. The presence of metallic elements in what should be a dirty snowball from interstellar space raises uncomfortable questions. Are we looking at natural outgassing, or are we witnessing something else entirely? Here's where the story takes a turn that might sound like science fiction, but the data is backing it up. Avi Loeb and his team at Harvard have published papers suggesting something that would have been laughed out of academic circles just a few years ago. 3I Atlas might be artificial. On 16th of July 2025, astrophysicist Avi Loeb and other researchers published a paper speculating that 3I Atlas could be an extraterrestrial spacecraft because they believed the object had anomalous characteristics, such as having an apparently large size, lack of identifiable chemicals, and an apparently improbable trajectory aligned with the solar system's ecliptic plane. The evidence is circumstantial, but compelling. The object's size estimates range wildly. Observations indicate that the upper limit on its diameter is 3.5 miles, 5.6 kilometers, though it could be as small as 1,444 feet, 440 meters across. That uncertainty itself is telling. Loeb now suggests 3I Atlas may be nuclear-powered, basing this hypothesis on a July 21st image captured by the Hubble Space Telescope that shows a glow on the front end of 3I Atlas, as if it is emitting light. He rules out reflected sunlight or rare interstellar nuclear material, pointing instead to possible artificial propulsion. But here's what's really unsettling: the timing. One study suggests 3I Atlas could be the oldest comet ever seen, around 3 billion years older than our 4.6 billion-year-old solar system. If this object has been drifting through space for over 7 billion years, why is it arriving now? The trajectory analysis reveals something even more disturbing. When scientists mapped out the entire path of 3I Atlas and its approaches to the Sun, Earth, and Mars, they found that each alignment falls on astronomical resonance dates, key orbital harmonics that occur in cycles of 54 years. The last time all three inner planets were in similar positions during a comet's passage was the Tunguska event in 1908. As October approaches, something unprecedented is happening on Mars. The European Space Agency is preparing for a unique opportunity to study the interstellar comet 3I Atlas from what could be the best vantage point in the solar system. ESA will employ both Mars Express and the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter spacecraft to make observations, attempting to obtain images using the high-resolution stereo camera on board Mars Express. and also with the color and stereo surface imaging system onboard ExoMars TGO. But here's what's not being widely reported. NASA has gone unusually quiet about Mars operations during this period. The usual press releases have stopped. Telemetry feeds from Perseverance and other Mars assets are showing suspicious gaps. Questions about potential impact scenarios are being redirected to classified briefings. In the Mars science community, whispers are circulating about something called Impact Protocol Initiated. What does that mean? Insiders claim a series of encrypted signals were sent from Earth-based stations to all functioning Mars equipment. This is curious, considering there's no known method to deflect or intercept 3I Atlas. Unless, of course, the purpose of those signals wasn't to protect Mars, but to prepare it. If 3I Atlas is an intelligent system, even semi-autonomous, it may be reacting to energy signatures, orbital beacons, or encoded pulses from our Mars infrastructure. The most disturbing possibility, we may have just confirmed we're listening, and if there's intelligence behind this object, it now knows that we're aware. As we approach October 3rd, 2025, the scientific community is holding its breath. ESA's Mars Express and ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter will observe the comet with several instruments around its closest approach to Mars on 3rd of October, 2025. The question isn't just whether 3I Atlas will hit Mars. The question is whether we're witnessing the arrival of something that was never intended to be random. Every calculation, every trajectory adjustment, every unusual chemical signature points to the same unsettling conclusion. This object knows exactly where it's going. If 3I Atlas is a technological object, this short distance makes it easy for a precursor mini-probe to reach Mars. Loeb calculated that if the object has a precursor probe traveling ahead of it and sideways toward Mars by about 30 million kilometers, that probe could intercept Mars on October 3rd or during the week preceding it. The timing is too perfect. The trajectory is too precise. The chemical composition is too unusual. And the silence from major space agencies is too convenient. Let's talk about what a Mars impact would actually mean. With an estimated mass in the billions of tons and traveling at 57 kilometers relative to Mars, an impact would unleash energy, equivalent to millions of megatons, thousands of times more powerful than the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated on Earth. The crater would be massive, potentially 60 kilometers wide and 5 kilometers deep. Debris would be scattered across Mars's orbit, with some ejected into interplanetary space. And yes, some of that debris could eventually reach Earth. But the physical impact is just the beginning. Mars hosts dozens of scientific assets, rovers, orbiters, experiments that have been searching for signs of life for decades. An impact wouldn't just destroy machines, it would erase decades of research and blind our communication arrays. More troubling is what lies beneath Mars's surface. Subsurface lakes, potential microbial life, ancient ecosystems locked beneath permafrost. All of it would be exposed by the extreme heat and pressure of impact. If 3I Atlas is carrying any form of organic molecules or synthetic biology, the collision could result in planetary-scale contamination. Some biologists are calling this reverse panspermia, not life spreading from Mars to Earth, but life being deliberately seeded into Mars. The question that keeps them awake: what if destruction was never the goal? What if 3I Atlas is a delivery system and Mars is the incubator? We're less than a month away from the closest approach. Every major space agency has telescopes trained on 3I Atlas. Every calculation is being double-checked. Every scenario is being modeled. But in the end, we're just observers. This object has traveled for potentially billions of years across the void between stars, carrying with it secrets from another solar system. Whether it's a natural comet with impossible chemistry or something far more deliberate, 3I Atlas represents the most significant interstellar event in human history. The James Webb Telescope continues its observations. The Mars orbiters are preparing their instruments, and somewhere in the darkness between here and Mars, an object that shouldn't exist continues its precision approach to the red planet. October 3rd, 2025. Mark your calendars. Because whether 3I Atlas hits Mars or misses, whether it's natural or artificial, this is the moment that could change everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. We looked up at the night sky and thought we saw a comet. But what if we were wrong? What if 3I Atlas isn't just passing through our solar system? What if it came here with purpose? Every telescope observation, Every chemical analysis, every trajectory calculation points to the same unsettling truth. We may not be alone. And if we're not alone, then October 3rd isn't just an astronomical event. It's first contact. Subscribe, because this story is far from over. Hit the notification bell. What happens next won't be reported anywhere else first. And tell us in the comments, do you think 3I Atlas is a natural comet? Or are we about to witness something that will change humanity forever? Because maybe, just maybe, we're not the ones being visited. Maybe we're the ones being tested.